on Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers. It's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
Oh, it's Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski, and it looks like I'm going to be here alone again, but that's the way it goes. And the rules are very simple. You can call in, talk about anything you'd like, as long as it pretty much pertains to the city or anything like that. Keep it in bounds of good taste, and we'll have no problem. And with that, numbers on the screen, and feel free to call in anytime you want. And as we go into summer, it looks like a lot of the building projects are underway, and so be careful as you drive around town. I'm sure there'll be. First caller, go ahead.
Hey, I just calling about that on Grandview where the Kmart was.
Yeah.
Them weeds are really growing up. When I come up off the bank there, up the driveway there, you can't see a car coming.
I live up by there, and I haven't been through there.
They cut the part, on the other half, but where the Kmart owned, they're not cutting it. It's starting to go up. It's pretty high. Like I said, I went to the bank the other day and I couldn't see no cars coming from the east.
Is that on the bank, on like along Grandview?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder why they wouldn't cut it. I would think that's the same landlord.
Evidently, they cut the one part and they went up the sign there, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's kind of, unless, that just seems weird, because I would have thought that's one property owner.
Yeah, I just went by there a little bit ago, and it's still like that, so.
Yeah, ever since Kmart moved out, I haven't had a reason to go up there lately.
Yeah, well, I go to the bank up there, so.
That's not good to have. I mean, that's too.
Someone's going to get whacked there.
Because of the weeds, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to go almost on a road before you can see somebody coming.
Yeah, especially from what I hear, I think we're going to have some road projects up there, with the state, so.
Yeah.
Can't have. Not only that starts to look kind of ratty up there.
Well, they've been using that parking lot there the other day. They were training bus drivers in there.
Really? Well, I mean, our bus drivers, or?
City bus, he had some cones in there, and they must have been giving somebody a test or something.
Yeah, I hope they find a better use for that in the future, though. But
yeah,
it's a sad day when we lost that Kmart. But
I don't think you're ever going to get nothing back there.
Well, retail is bad all over the whole country, is number one. And
I hope that new place that's remodeling over Sears, because they got a lot of money in that place.
Oh, you mean Boskov?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big out east. I was when I head out to where my son lives. They're all over the east side of the state. So maybe I don't think they'd go into the plaza though. They're more of a
They're
big.
putting a lot of money in that building.
In Sears, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, they're a pretty good chain. There's not many options anymore because you got Penny's is in trouble and Sears is in trouble. When you read about, they were talking again about the effect of people buying on the internet, which is hurting all these places. And that and the fact that probably when you and I were growing up, I never thought I'd see a day like the big chains will go out of business, but they are.
Well, I got you on the line. What's the story with that viaduct that everybody protested and knocking it down?
You mean what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, they had a march or something. They don't want to knock it. I mean, I went by there and it's just crumbling, and there's nothing to the thing.
Well, the problem was, that's the problem with it, is that over the years, you can blame anybody you want, any number of administrations, but they didn't put any money into the bridge. And once they built the Bayfront Highway to East Side Connector, that kind of sealed the fate there. But some of the people want to take it over.
Yeah, who's going to shovel it?
Well, we told the city basically told them at this point in time that the commitment was made with the federal government and the state and the Commonwealth that they have dedicated money into studies. They're going to redo the Buffalo Road interchange. They're going to make some enhancements along 12th Street, and they were going to do, take the bridge down and all that. But the main thing was getting a pedestrian crossing at the Buffalo Road area and working along that corridor. And so, they want to turn it into like a park where, you can walk around there.
And look in at the scrapyard.
But the only problem is the city can't afford to do it. And, they were told a couple years back that if they wanted to take it over, they would have to form a committee, a 501(c), and take over the financing and everything, because that, but at this point, from everything we've been told by the state and federal government, the bridge is on a short time frame right now.
Well, I was going to say, it's been closed for 7 years,
Yeah, even if it was to reopen at the very best, it would be for cars only.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's nobody's put any money into it, like you say.
No, I took a walk over there last year. My God, you could see right through the cement.
Oh yeah, there was a lack of maintenance. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, even when it was open, when you plowed it, you couldn't walk on it because the plows do the snow on the sidewalk. So you had to walk on the street. It doesn't, as far as safety goes,
Oh yeah, well, that was way back when that bridge was first envisioned. It was many years ago. It was a good idea.
Yeah, I use the bridge, but I miss it too. But
But now it's concept has changed, traffic has changed, and in the perfect world we would have taken care of it, but we didn't. That's a problem.
All right, I'll let you go so someone else can come.
Yeah, I'll take a look up there. I mean, I live right by there. I haven't gone through there that much because, like I say, ever since Kmart closed.
I think if you go up the other side, you're all right. I go to the bank and with Caesars and that. If you're coming up that way, you can't see no cars coming.
I have to have our people check it out. I mean, it's you don't want to see it start to turn into.
Just went by there, so it's still there. So
because you got the Dairy Queen there and everything. That's you get a lot of traffic through there.
Yeah, people still use that.
Well, part of it is a road too. It terminates there at the driveway.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for calling.
Okay then. Bye.
Grandview Plaza, weeds. Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Super.
Super or twofer?
Super.
There you go.
Yeah, how do we go about selecting the roads to be repaved?
That's between the engineering, the public works, streets department. They go out and I'm sure they got a schedule from year to year of roads that, they got put on like a 2-year plan, 3-year plan. But when I talk to the engineer, they go around and they take surveys through the year, but then they do, it's a combination effort.
Do you think they would take the priority, the most traveled ones?
Well, they do, they try, but then, they're getting kickback from other people too that want their road done too.
On my road, the water runs right into my driveway because the way it's pitched.
Yeah, the trouble with the whole east side where we live is, when you go above 38th Street.
Yeah, they got about 15,000 different grades.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know what happened, John. I was a young man when they started building up there, but it looks like they had no plan, and they were just building houses as fast as they could put them up.
That red girl was building them like crazy up here.
Yeah, I mean, so you have no grades, you have no curbs. We don't have curbs, so the water channeling is. I get water coming over my lawn.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You got a lot of water last night.
Yeah, it'll come right. It'll come down off Pine Avenue. It'll roll right down the street. There's no curbs, so it just seeks wherever it can. So a lot of times it's somebody's front yard or.
Well, it's just like with these new sewers on 38th Street. Most of them just have gravel. A few of them have blacktop where they packed it in. Of course, I know they're waiting for the permanent improvement on that.
Yeah, I hope they do it right, though.
Yeah, you see Russell Standard's working now on the sewers. They had that Cleveland outfit in. They've had so many different contractors working on that.
Well, the thing is, they do it in phases, and whoever bids. And I think that's done through the Commonwealth because when we do the bids, we do them here at the city.
Yeah.
But on a state project, they do it,
Yeah, I had talked to Pat Harkins and everything else, and
What did he say?
they didn't even know that, his staff didn't even know that 38th Street was a state route.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not hard to believe because, there's, when you, sometimes even, I've learned over the years a number, and I don't profess to know them all, but I know a few of them.
Oh, there's all kinds of little dips in the road that are state roads that aren't on the map.
And then we also get money from the Commonwealth to take care of some of the roads.
True. But
Except on major...
The thing here is, they don't have their maps updated and anything else.
Who, the state?
Yeah.
That's probably true. I mean, I'm always amazed that there's no coordination on that road. You wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
you don't know if the right lane or the left lane is going to be closed.
This Russell Standards now is putting in these hookups for the sewers on the corners and everything, and you go half a block or a block, and you'll be blocked off. But they're moving along pretty good, I'll say, bud.
Were they the ones that did the other ones, John, that time when they were flying? They were doing remember the...
The cement?
Yeah, remember that one company, whoever that was, they were flying.
That was Villela, I think, for the curb cuts.
Yeah, they got that project wrapped up in a hurry, remember?
When Mayor Brothers and McCormick were slow.
Yeah, I mean, they you didn't even know they were in and out of there so fast.
These guys are doing 3 and 4 different corners of section a day. But I see you're going to have your weekly meeting this week. Are we going to get the mayor's state of the budget?
Maybe in the mid-year report?
Yeah.
I thought he did give it already. Maybe I missed it.
I must have missed it.
Unless I'm thinking, time is flying so fast, I can't. Sometimes I forget if it's this year or last year.
Yeah, we've got to find a little revenue somewhere.
Well, every time I talk about a source, somebody gets mad. And the paper writes it up like,
Oh, yeah, you're a villain. You're riding down the street with your black hat.
Yeah, I'm anti-business or anti-this, and I'm going, well, there's only so many sources you can get revenue from. And, do you want to keep going to the people?
Now, let's tax the sweet stuff in the places. The sweet, like they're doing in Philly.
Yeah, what's that? What are they doing?
They're taxing the sweet pops.
Oh, yeah, they got a sign when you go to Philly. When you hit the suburbs, they go, buy your pop here. Last outpost before you reach the city.
Yeah.
People load up and pop out there.
Of course, can we do it as a third class? Well, we're not even a third class city anymore.
Yes, we are.
Well, population's going away.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? Here in Pennsylvania, John, this is the bad part of the system. Okay, there's one first-class city.
Philadelphia.
Right. There's one second-class city.
Pittsburgh.
Right. There's a 2A hybrid, which at one time was Scranton.
Yeah, now it's Altoona, isn't it?
No, they're third class. And everybody else that's a city is a third-class city, and that includes Corey, which is the same class as Erie.
Well, Erie's in a different class. We shouldn't even have emission control stickers.
Well, we should actually be like, to me, the third class should be towns like Allentown, Erie, Reading, Harrisburg, Hershey, towns like that.
Well, I don't know. Reading pretty soon will be ahead of Erie.
You might be right.
Oh yeah, they're building them pretty big down there. A lot of people are coming in. Taxes are reasonable. Not too many nonprofits. That's what kills Erie, the nonprofits. In fact, I had a little talk with Pat for a while there, and he said his hands are tied.
Well, when you go down there, you wind up, there are more legislators representing rural and suburban areas than there are urban legislators. If you just look at Erie County, there's only 2 legislators that represent the city.
True.
And even Mill Creek doesn't care about the city's problems because...
Remember when the city of Erie had a grant writer that would go down to Harrisburg? Whatever happened to that position?
I don't know. That's something to be talked about with the new administration coming in. But I think we have to start looking at that because we can't keep taxing people. I mean, it's just...
No, I remember when we had a city manager.
Where, in Erie?
Yes.
We never did.
Yes, we did. We had one under Tullio.
A city manager?
Yes. Look back into the records. I don't recall what his name was, but we had a city manager, and it wasn't Tullio's driver.
Well, what did the manager do?
He would inform the mayor. I guess you might call him, he's like the mayor's assistant down there now.
Yeah, but, when you talk about a true business manager, you take the town of St. Mary's, PA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they're a third-class city. They were a borough at one time, and they got together with what would be their Mill Creek, their big township.
Yeah.
And they formed a city. They became a third-class city. But unlike Erie, in other towns, they chose not to have a mayor.
A manager instead.
Yeah, but they have a mayor, but the mayor's head of council.
Yeah.
He's just a, what do you call it? Under their form of government, I would be the mayor this year.
Mm-hmm.
But you would have a business manager who council appointed who would run the everyday business. And they can be fired or hired at will.
I think Mars PA's like that.
Who?
Mars.
It could be. A lot of those little towns have decided that it's more beneficial for them to hire someone. If they don't like the direction it's going, you just get rid of the guy,
True.
But you hire him as an expertise, he runs the everyday business, but council sets the ordinances, and if they're not happy with him, he has to answer to them.
So how do we make out on my fire call? Slipped your mind.
No, it didn't. I'm trying to get together with him, and it hasn't worked out.
Well, we got together with him last, the old chief, and he said it was all right. So these people are still down there with that open ring.
Well, it's all right if you got an approved fire pit.
Yeah, but it's not an approved fire pit.
The way I was told in the past, that's why I wanted to ask the new guy, what if there's been any changes. You had to keep it. You couldn't put it up on your deck. Okay, to my knowledge, I think.
That's just as bad as putting a turkey fryer.
Yeah. In fact, they even frown upon you putting your grill up there and stuff.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to have the fire pit out away from the house and have it approved. With a screen and all that. And
yeah, it's right in the middle of the yard there. The house and the garage is close by, and they even have the wood stacked up on the one side.
But from what I understand, a tire, what do you call it?
Rim.
A tire rim was not approved.
Yeah, it's not approved, and there's no cover on it and whatever. I thought there was only approval for burning 1 day a week.
No, that went out the window a long time ago.
It did?
I'm pretty sure. I'll check on it, but from what I can remember, when I first moved into where I am now, we had it 1 day a week.
Yeah, Saturday mornings.
And then I think they got rid of all burning in the city now.
Sure, because they were burning plastic and you name it.
Yeah, I'll check on it, but I'm almost 99% sure they got rid of that.
So, I will get off. If it's slow, I'll call you back.
Who's that?
Pardon?
Oh, you're talking to someone.
Talking to you.
Oh, it sounded like your phone rang and you were talking with somebody.
I might have hit the antenna.
There you go.
So, if it's slow, I'll call you back.
Hey, watch out. Cable TV's raising their rates again.
I just pay the flat rate.
What, cable?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
That's all I do. I don't have... I get you and all that because I have one of the modern TVs.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of complaints shortly because they, as the old Time Warner ones expire, they're changing and they're not very flexible.
Well, why would you? You got the only game in town.
Yeah, what Time Warner would deal with you, but...
Well, Verizon will put in your lines.
I didn't think they were doing that up in Erie. They are?
You could probably get a TV on Verizon at your house.
Hey, as long as I can get the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'd be happy.
I'm not happy because I don't get the Yankees.
Well, that's their fault. They're greedy.
Most of the Italians are Yankee fans anyways.
Hey, but Joe's been dead for how many years?
Joe?
Yeah.
DiMaggio?
Yeah, that's the only reason why. That and Rizzuto, those guys are gone.
Mike was the better player than Joe.
Yeah, but those guys are all gone, those Italian guys.
If he would have had 67 hits in 67 consecutive games, Hines was going to give him a big bonus.
Who?
Hines 57.
Yeah, who's going to get that?
Joe D.
Oh, yeah, well, a Cleveland guy stopped him.
That goofy third baseman from Cleveland.
Kenny Keltner. Kenny Keltner. Yeah, but it was Jim Bagby that stopped him.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, you look at all those games he hit multiple times, and they were all doubles, triples, and home runs. Not too many singles.
Can't do that today with the relief pitchers.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get off here.
Yep. Hey, call back later if nobody else does.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to check on that burning in the city, but I'm almost certain we got rid of that a number of years ago. And that was due to a lot of the old housing. Go ahead, caller.
How you doing, Kaz?
Good.
Do I have to put the TV down?
No, you're okay as long as you can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, here's you beautiful.
Yeah, some people get confused when they're listening because there's a little delay on there.
Yeah. I'll only take a couple of minutes. That guy before you, I don't know what the hell he was trying to improve, but...
Oh, no, he calls up every week. Go ahead.
A couple of years ago, I'm driving down I-79, and the state cops got a guy pulled over, and I shoot right by him. The next thing I know, he's behind me, and it cost me $300. I said, when did they change the law? He says, well, not too long ago. Now, my question is, when the hell did they change the law in certain parts of the city? Because if you live between 38th and Allegheny and Liberty Street, going south to Gore Road, there are no traffic laws. Absolutely none. Now, here, I'll tell you.
What do you mean? You mean nobody ever bothers you?
Oh, no, nobody ever bothers anybody. We call when they come up and they don't do it. Now, on this one particular block, I'm for the city. I've lived here all my life, and I want to see it come back. Now, this guy laid concrete blocks so that when he gets out of his car, he steps on the concrete, not the grass. Now, our steering wheels are on the left side, which means he's heading the wrong way.
Yeah.
But he's got this concrete set there so that when he gets out of his car. Now, he parks across driveways. It doesn't bother him. 2 o'clock in the morning, he's got his panic thing on. And then he's playing music in the middle of the night, all right? Now, somebody calls the cops. They come out, 2 guys in a cruiser car. His car is parked heading the wrong way across the driveway, all right? They walk around it, go to the house, make them stop the music, come back, walk around that car to get in their car. Do you think they tagged it or anything? Absolutely not. To me, I want this town protected. Now, I go over 32nd Street to Raspberry. Now, that's a pretty nice neighborhood. In fact, at Christmas, there's no neighborhood in the city's decorated any better than that. And right on the southeast corner, in that nice neighborhood, is the biggest mess you ever saw. The grass has to be 3 feet tall. I said, Jesus, it's been like that forever. Doesn't anybody check on this?
32nd and Raspberry?
Yeah, right on the southeast corner. And I said, gee, you got to stop these things. Once that, you get a home decay, and the next thing you know, the one next to it goes, and the one next to it. You got to stop them before they start. Once they get started, there's just no control. And,
That's right by my mother's house. I got to take a ride there.
Yeah, right on the corner, southeast corner, 32nd Raspberry. You look at, I think the house is vacant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they used to be, it was a nice, what is a nice neighborhood yet?
Oh, it is, yeah. It's been maintained forever. I grew up kind of just a few blocks away from that, and it's still as nice as it was, 70 years ago.
I
years ago.
When I leave my mother's, I turn the other direction, so I have to take a ride that way.
Yeah. I think so. I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. Something else I've always pushed, but I think we should have a whole city of alternate parking. You would save arguments with neighbors. I think it would make the plowing easier.
What do you mean, like one side or the other?
Yeah, well, alternate. One day on one side, one day on the other.
We kind of do, but not year-round, right?
Yeah, year-round I'd like to see it. But, that's another thought. It has its pros and cons. It's not. I can't say that if that happens, everything's solved. Cause, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you get off the air. Call me sometime. Give me that address of that house.
On 32nd Street?
No, the one where the guy parks kind of weird.
Oh, it's a 1500 block at 42nd Street.
1500 block of West 42nd? Yeah, in the old days, I can remember, my dad was a police officer. And being a smart kid, when you act kind of dumb, I used to do that crap. I'd pull on the wrong side of the street.
Oh, we all went through that.
Yeah, my dad would say, you're forcing me to tag you. I said, why? Who said I can't do it? You can't. Why? Because you're going the wrong way. And they used to tag you in the old days, but, today they're busy with other stuff. I think they've gotten away from that,
Yeah.
But those are the kind of little problems that become big problems,
Yeah.
Neighbors get mad. Like up here.
My mother used to say that.
What, little things become big things, right?
Right.
Yeah, I watch these kids like up around my neighborhood. They park on the sidewalks, the young college kids, and they're going,
oh, yeah. I think we all went through that at one time or another. The only thing is you got stopped at home.
Yeah, and what's funny is a lot of times I remember people would say, oh, there's a law against it. And then years later, I'm on council now, and I'm finding out, no, we have to pass that law because there never was one. It was like the one Jimmy Thompson passed with concerning like rabbits and chickens. Everybody thought there was one.
Yeah.
And I can remember even the police would come by and go, and there's a city ordinance against it. Okay, I'll take care of it. Nobody ever argued. Today, everybody, I'm going to challenge you to look it up. And
yeah.
it was like in the old days, everything got settled quicker.
Oh, yeah. But at different times. Times change.
Yeah, we weren't as defiant. But yeah, these weed problems, they're starting to get to be...
Yeah.
It starts to make a neighborhood look bad.
Yeah, once it starts to go, it's hard to stop it, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody's got to own that property, and...
Oh, yeah, it might be vacant, but I said, geez, I hate to see this right in the middle of all this thing. And in that block, the Christmas decorations, in the winter, they were taking a ride to see, honest to gosh.
Well, I used to walk that whole area when I was a young man, because I had friends all over there.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'll let you go. I don't want to tie you up, Dave. And lots of good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate your phone call, but hey, were you talking about he tagged you on the highway because you went around because you didn't go around him?
Yeah, I just went. I stayed right in the lane and went by them. They were off the road.
I got to profess,
you got to swing out to the center lane.
Yeah, but you know what's bad about that? I drive a lot on the freeway.
Yeah.
And I'll watch people. They won't even signal; they just cut you right off.
Yeah.
And you're alongside of them. I think there's got to be a what do you call it? There's got to be a little give and take on that.
Oh yeah.
If you see an emergency vehicle, everybody's okay there. But a lot of these trucks, they'll pull over real quick, and they're not realizing you're coming up alongside of them.
I don't think they even see you.
No, they can't. A lot of times.
Yeah.
And what's bad is you're all of a sudden you're in the medial. You're in the next accident.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they change. I'm gonna try to find out because, the bad thing about being an older driver, they don't send you updates I don't think in the mail.
Uh-huh.
With your license renewal, everybody should get one. They tell you they do it on TV campaigns, but what if you miss it?
I see.
Yeah, that's I when I was young, I don't remember anybody moving over.
No. But now you have to by law. If they got a vehicle pulled over, you got to switch
Yeah. And you're supposed to not ride in the left lane, but everybody does too, though.
Yeah, right. You're supposed to. Yeah, it's just a passing lane, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I sometimes with my kids, and I say, "Hey, you're going to stay in this lane?" Yeah. I said, "You're not supposed to. This is a passing lane." Oh, where does it say that?
Yeah,
in the law
defined.
books. Yeah. Hey, listen, Kaz, I'm tying you up, but it's good talking to you. And a lot of good luck in November. We'll be with you.
Okay, I'm going to take a ride over. It's right by my mother's house, so I got to take a look at that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture it because I go up there a lot in the past.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem. I'll get up there though.
Yeah. Well, take your time. No big deal.
Isn't that the house that had the?
I beg pardon?
Didn't it have like a wishing well or something in the middle of it?
No. It sits kind of high up on a hill.
Yeah, it was, but it had something in the yard once.
Oh.
I don't know if it was like a little canopy or something.
Well, you probably can't tell now because of the growth. The wild growth.
I think I knew the guy who used to live there years ago. I think he was a school teacher.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hey, now I can picture the house because I'm picturing it now in my head.
Yeah, well, Lenny Ekimoff lived right down the next block, going down Raspberry.
I'll get up there either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, good talking to you, Ken.
You too, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, some of the state laws, it's amazing how they change the rules. And they really don't keep people up to date, and then you're driving along and you get stopped or warned. At the least, you get warned, but sometimes you get tagged. Not very pleasant. And seems like weeds are become once again not a good thing in our city to have the weeds growing up everywhere. They're just getting to be a real hassle. And that's the kind of thing that leads to blight in a small way, and then it just starts growing. Pretty soon the property's not taken care of. First thing is the grass, then it's the windows, and after that it's all downhill. But just an announcement that we do have in contact with a couple people that want to come on the show, and in the future we got a commitment from Mr. Buchna. I'll be announcing that date shortly. And in fact, I can probably do it today. We're going to have John on here. And if you have any questions concerning the downtown and the role of the DID, John will be on tentatively. We got him scheduled for July 10th, unless something goes wrong. And if you have any questions, like we had last week about a possible market downtown, what's happening with the bus station, some of the downtown development, new businesses, anything you want to talk to them about, any questions, keep them in your mind or write them down. And if you can't call in, email me or get them into me. But he's agreed to come on, and he came on about a week ago at the end of the show, 2 weeks ago I think it was, and he offered some insight, so we got him nailed down. Then I have another guest, which I'll be announcing when I get a date, wants to talk about some issues concerning everything from insurance matters to public access, and we'll have that person on. I'll be announcing that when I firm up the date. And outside of that, we always look for people to come on here that I know you've asked, and sometimes it's hard to get anybody to commit. A lot of times they really don't want to come on. But I applaud Mr. Buchna, and when he does come on, I have a few questions also, and it should be a good show. And as we head into summer, it's nice to see some of the things that are happening in the area. The new amphitheater in Chautauqua is open. That's always a great time and a great trip. And a lot of our activities in the area are starting to gear up, Waldemere, etc. It's good to have their renovations, and the boat, the Princess is out. That's a nice trip if nobody's ever taken it. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, you're on.
Yes, those orange stickers that are on vacant houses, what does that mean?
The orange stickers?
Yes.
Well, some of the stickers are from the county that's notifying them that they're going to be sheriff saled. Other stickers are, some of the orange ones we put up because they're doing renovations in there, such as electric or other things that's like a permit notice. Anytime you do building projects, they're posted on there also. Is there one next door to you?
Well, there's a few in my neighborhood.
Where do you live roughly?
On the east side?
Where, like Lower East Side?
Yes.
Probably a lot of them are going to be. I was just I had an issue concerning a gentleman who had some problems with guys renovating the house next door that were not very nice to him. But a lot of that has to do with they're going to be doing electrical work inside or renovations, so they have to get a permit from us. And some of them even have like another notice that's saying they were sheriff saled and they have been bought. So you can go up there and read them if you're not, trespassing or anything.
Well, my question is, who takes care of cutting the grass?
That's the homeowner. And what will happen if the grass is not being cut, you can complain to us, and we have a crew of young people that will be going out with parks that will try to, cut some of the worst ones down. But it's starting to get to be, there's so many of them, and we just don't have the time to cut them all. But if you got a couple locations, feel free to give me the addresses and I'll turn them in. And the first thing they try to do is notify the owner to have him cut it. And if he doesn't, if it gets really bad, we will send out a crew and lien the property. But the homeowner is ultimately responsible, be that whether it's a bank, a landlord, or whatever. Do you have a list of a few?
Yes, I'll call you at home, okay?
Yeah, you have my number in the phone book.
Yes.
Or you can call City Hall here and, give it to the city clerk. She'll get it to me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll turn those in and don't look for instant. I mean, if the owner doesn't take care of it right away, we'll put it on our list. But bear in mind, we only have so many kids and so much time to cut them. But we'll do our best, okay? Oops, thank you. She wants to. Yeah, if you got grass problems, don't feel. Call in. You can call call here at Parks Department, or call me. Leave the list with me, and I'll be glad to turn it in. And they try to get to them best they can, but we don't. It's not like we have a lot of people. The actual Parks Department itself is augmented in summer by we have some young people come in and get summer employment. So we do go out there and cut where we can, but like I was just mentioning, the grass problem is like escalating in the city. We got so many properties that the owners just don't really care about, and if you live next door to them, it's not very pleasant. I mean, with it comes the usual culprits. You got rodents, garbage, and just unsightliness makes your property devalued to that extent. So, yeah, feel free to call and we'll do what we can. I've turned in quite a few in the last month already. And that's the same with any problem. If you got a problem, don't sit on it. Call. If you don't think you're getting the right response, call a councilman, call the mayor's office, make your feelings known, and there is something to it that the squeaky wheel will get the grease. And if you just sit there and do nothing, nothing will happen. And we do have a lot of absentee landlords. That is one of the issues, and some of the banks own some of the property, and I think if they were bugged, they'd have to get a crew in there to take care of them. And outside of that, just riding around town, like I say, all the new projects are progressing pretty well. And let's hope that we got good news with some of the legislation, and we're hoping that the city will be a benefactor of some legislation that came down from Harrisburg, and I'm keeping on top of that. And outside of that, we have many challenges. And as I drive around town and I have people call me, they all have the same concerns. You know, they're looking for new development. They're tired of watching their neighbors leave, and it's a huge issue. And hopefully, you know, all of us working together in the next few years can solve this. And it's a changing world, and in some ways it hasn't been kind to the Erie area, but we continue to try, and there's a hope in all of us that things will turn around. And judging, looking at the next council, we'll be voting on the final ordinance of the land bank. I'm not the land bank. I mean the urban gardens. And I got a lot of positive feedback on that from people. They were asking questions about whether they could have gardens in their backyard, and you still can with you know, single-family housing. The gardens that we're talking about is addressing more of the issues of R2 and above, bigger tracts of land. And it can only help. I was gratified to see that the Sisters of St. Joseph are getting set up on the east side now, and I'm looking forward to them doing the same fine job on the east side that they did in the 18th Street area. If you've driven through there, you know, a lot of the vacant lots have gardens. They've done some grant writing for facade programs, and they put cameras around the area, and I think it's a great idea, and that can only help. And speaking of that kind of partnership, last council meeting we honored a group from the Pebble Beach area that kind of adopted a park in their area, one of the neighborhood watches. And this is something that we've talked about on council, that when the public becomes involved, and we're getting a lot more of that, where they're actually taking over a park, cleaning it up, raising funds to develop it, and running it through the city for okay. We've got many success stories. We have Frontier Park. We have the park out of McClellan with the dog park and the walking trails. I've had groups approach me about the Roma Park area and the two parks on the west side of town, Haggerty and Baldwin. And I think it only helps when we have people willing to take over and run it. Like at Pebble Park there, they put up a gazebo, and they have more plans envisioned as sidewalks and everything. And it's great for the neighborhood. And I think a lot of people don't know that, yes, you can, you know, adopt a park, and yes, you can get involved. And where we can, as a city, at times there may be some we can help you with, some funding that's available. And when you have a group that's set up to do it properly, it makes it that much easier to get the grants done. And I think that's the only way, and that's why I'm looking forward to this, to see how this urban garden and market garden concept works. Because I think in long range, as neighborhoods take it under their wing and develop these for their own use, and we start cleaning up the blight, I think you'll see neighborhoods with pride again start to come back. And I think that can only help. And hopefully, you know, some of these merchants that say they want to get involved with, you know, growing things for their businesses, that can only help us also. In fact, looking at empty lots is not fun. And when you sit up here at the council meetings and you see people come in here that are doing nothing more than flipping properties and not taking care of them, that's not good. But then you get the good neighbors that come in, they buy it, they clean it up, they fence it in sometimes, or they use it for their garden, or make a little private area. That's a lot better than looking at a field full of trash. And as this one gentleman called up earlier, when you start seeing it in all areas of the city, that's not good. And we have to start being more proactive. And getting back to Grandview Plaza, as he mentioned with the weeds, it's a shame that we can't get, and I don't know the reason. I mean, I know some of the reasons, but I would like to see more grocery stores and stuff like that, especially up there where you have a senior center, and being they're not as mobile all the time as some of us. Even going down to Walmart or Tops can be a problem with them. So I'm glad that some of the grocery stores now are looking at trying to have like home deliveries, pickup services. I think we live in a different society today, but I am hoping that someday in the future we can bring more business. We really need to expand our tax base and also cause people to start moving back into the city. And that's a $1 million question, how we do it. But I think, all we can do on council, as I said in the past, administrations and councils can create the atmosphere for business, but we don't create jobs. And anybody that thinks they do, a prime example would be, a lot of elected officials will line up at the ribbon cutting when GE comes into town, but when GE moves out or a business moves out, you certainly don't see anybody there taking blame for those things. So, all we can do, and I said this since I've been elected, is we can create the environment or the programs, but at the end of the day, it's really up to business to move in. So what I tell people is, as you frequent different places, we had a gentleman call up 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about how he'd like to see an Aldi's or something like that. Well, the way to get it, if there's any chance, is that when you do your shopping, if they give you a questionnaire, answer it, or just when you see somebody like the manager, say, hey, I just like you to know, I wish you would open one up on, I don't know if they ever ask you, but, the more people that put their input into there, you never know if it changes their mind. Years ago, they used to take surveys all the time, and they'd say, we just want to know what your zip code is. If you ever watch it, if you're curious why they say, if you're buying like one of the fast food places, they'd say, what's your zip code? And you look at them like, well, why do you need to know that? Well, what they do is they put that data together, and if they see that there's a lot of people come from the other side of town, a lot of times that's a little impetus for them to say, you know what, maybe we need to put a store there. And in many cases, it's happened with growing chains. Now, some chains are in trouble, so you're not going to see it, but then again, you might. One of the things, as I was traveling, I always like looking for new ideas, and I know they were thinking about trying this, but it would be nice in the city if somehow we could crank out some kind of, I don't know if we have the volume for it, but in some of the towns they now have Rent a Bicycle, or they have, we tried the pedal pubs, which were unique. They were going to try them out the peninsula, where you rent a vehicle and you can actually have your beverages on there and drive around. Actually, you pedal, and you hire a guy to steer it, and it's new novel ways. it'd be nice if we had an area even cut out for, on certain days, like for, horse rides or something like that. I think it kind of dresses up the city a little bit and gives it a little big city atmosphere, but those are things we'll have to work on in the future. And I think I'm going to talk to Mr. Buckner about that when he comes in. Well, we got the high sign, so it's kind of dying out a little bit, so I think we're going to call it a day, and we'll see you again next week. And we do have a few questions here I got to get answered, so I'll get to work on them right away as I leave here. And once again, thank you for calling in, and we'll see you again next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.